What's good, guys? We are currently sitting 2 days out from the Toronto Pro, and today is day one of the carb load. So this video is going to be about everything I'm eating today, my water, my salt, my rest, my steps, my food. So we're going to get into all of that. It's currently 6:30 in the morning here, Toronto time. I've just done my check-ins because I need to have a very good log on my before and afters. So I'll put that on the screen somewhere for you. But as you can see, it's a little bit dark. My voice is a little bit crackly. I'm kind of tired, but also very excited. I'm much better caught up on sleep right now just because my jet lag was horrendous. I actually thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown in the gym because my sleep was so terrible and my carbs were so low and I was depleting. But I didn't. I think it could have just been a hypo, but we'll see. Peak week is always madness, but fun, but madness. So first things first, what have I been up to in Toronto since Monday, 4 days ago from now, which was my day one in Toronto and my last video I posted. I actually decided I was flat enough that I didn't need to go to this crazy depletion where I had like a week's long depletion because I was already incredibly depleted from the lead up to getting on the plane to making sure I came off the plane as dry as possible with as little water retention as possible, which was successful, and you can see that video. I'll just post it right here. So since then, I've been doing my maintenance calories, and again, I'll chuck the daily macros on the screen here just for reference. And I continued that on Tuesday and Wednesday. However, yesterday we thought, let's just finish off a full depletion. So we did a 24 hours, no carbohydrates. It felt terrible. The gym session was terrible. I didn't get any pumps. I was very weak. I felt like I was, my blood sugars were pretty low, so I did feel like I was quite dizzy all the time, but that is normal for the final week before a show. Cardio-wise, I cut the cardio out after Tuesday, so Wednesday and Thursday I didn't do any cardio. However, I kept my steps normal, which was 8,000 steps per day. So the big question is, why am I depleting? What is the purpose of that? Well, we found that when you actually deplete your body of glycogen stores in the muscle, in the liver, and then reload the carbs back in, you get this super compensation effect where you can put more carbs back into the body or back into the muscle specifically, which of course, more carbs in the muscle means you get a much bigger, fuller look when it comes to show day. This peak week, I'm doing absolutely no water or salt manipulation, so that's going to be constant for me. I'm going to stick to my 6 liters of water per day and my 2 grams of salt with my 6 meals per day. That's going to stay constant. We are not changing that. A lot of people can get this crazy dry looking skin from water manipulation and salt manipulation. It simply does not work for me. Doesn't work for everyone. Every time I try it, all the water from my muscle just dissipates, gets pulled out of the muscle, puts into the skin. So it's a terrible look, and that's why I placed pretty badly for my last show in Hungary. But right, everyone's here to see what food I'm eating today, so let's get stuck straight into meal one. Okay guys, this is my meal one. I'll put the macros on the screen. However, this is 150 grams of oats, which I soaked overnight, 110 grams of banana because the whole banana was 110, not 100, 10 grams of honey, and 10 grams, was it 10 grams? 15 grams. I'll confirm that on the screen when I double check my notes, of almond butter, again, just to smooth out the blood sugar spiking, because when you add some fats, it stops your insulin shooting up, and then, of course, it will crash your blood sugars. You don't want to be doing that. So a little bit of fat with every meal helps me massively to stop the crashing effect. So all I'm going to do is add some whey isolate into this, and that's my whole meal. It is massive. It's 500 mils of water that went into this. I always soak my oats, which is why I add a little bit more, because they do get extra fluffy. And when I soak my oats, it's better for my digestion. So meal one, let me get stuck into this. Okay, my 40 grams of whey isolate is added. Let's get this mixed in. For some reason, I have a fork. No idea why I have a fork, but I thought I'd just also bring up that enzymes are going to be going in to pretty much every other meal, just to help with the digestion. You don't want any digestion issues, which is why, again, I soak my oats because it's just better for digestion, soak them overnight. And also another 500 mils of water, just to make sure my water is going to be pretty much a liter per meal. And of course, my first getting up in the morning does mean that I'm going to be slightly dehydrated, so I'll get my first liter in pretty much straight away. But okay, let me get this stirred in with my fork, and then I'm going to go get a spoon and actually sit and enjoy this, potentially off camera, just so I can just chill with my phone and just catch up in the world. But first, oh yeah, that is banging. So there's one very important thing I did forget to mention. Subscribe. Okay, on to meal 2. I've just got back from the barber's. If you couldn't figure out what was different, I actually meal prepped this because I wasn't sure how long I'd be, because it's supposed to be a 10:30 meal. It is now 10:45, so I'm going to get this done real quick. This is, oh dear, back here maybe. Okay, so this is my meal 2. It is a chicken and rice meal, so I have 100 grams of chicken. My protein has been reduced today just because I don't have the necessity to grow and repair the muscle tissue today, so protein is down, so it leaves more available enzymes for digestion and just more stomach volume. I can get my carbs in better, so protein has been lowered today, and my vegetable intake has also lowered again, just for the stomach volume, and it'll be easier, more digestible foods. I still want to keep it in there, of course, though. So we have 100 grams of chicken, 150 grams of rice, and that's pre-cooked weight, 10 grams of coconut oil, and 70 grams of vegetables. So that's pretty much it. I do keep the same seasoning, so everything I use for seasoning coming up to the show during the prep, I keep in even during peak week. There's no need to take that out, just because what's the point? Your body is used to those kind of seasonings. You're responding well to those seasonings. Doesn't cause any issues. You can keep them in right the way through the prep. Just make sure it's not going to mess with your salt intake. But again, that's even constant as well. So, right, meal 3 is a bit of a crazy one for some people, but it is potatoes and eggs. And I absolutely love this meal. I was experimenting with this one a little bit during prep when I was doing some refeeds, and this digests really well for me, so I'm more than happy to throw it in for my carb load. So we have 550 grams of potatoes, 300 grams of egg whites, 1 whole egg, 10 grams of honey. And this is what the dish looks like. So it's just pure egg whites. The egg is, of course, mixed in to make the pancake. And I'm going to have this side savory, and this side is where the honey is going to go on top. So I'm getting stuck into this for meal 3. Just fantastic. Forgot to mention, 10 grams of olive oil went into cooking the potato. So there's 10 grams of olive oil for the 10 grams of fat, as I have 10 grams of fat with most of the meals. So that went into actually making this amazing potato pancake. Pretty much a hash brown, but the size of it, call it a pancake. Just got back from the athletes registration because they hold that on the Fridays, just so all of the categories that have a weight cap have all of Saturday to rehydrate, get some food in them for the Sunday show. So athlete registration today, I am lucky number 48. I'm pretty sure I said 38 on my Instagram, so apparently it's not, it's 48. We'll go from there, and I have my next meal ready to go. So still eating out of Tupperware because it is, of course, massive, a bit too big for a normal size plates, but I like eating out of Tupperware. Something about it, just the lifter's life, top life, you know? So in here we have 150 grams of rice, 100 grams of asparagus. I've gone for the asparagus this time. Very high fiber, and it turns the waterworks on, which is very good. Not these ones, those ones. And 100 grams of chicken again with 10 grams of coconut oil for my fats. I actually like to flash fry this with the fats with some Chinese 5 spice, and it is absolutely amazing. So meal number 4, let's get that in. So excuse the nakedness, as I just got out of the shower. I went straight into cooking. I just couldn't be asked to put a top back on. So here we are. My next meal is almost identical, actually. So meal 5 is almost identical to meal 4. It's a chicken and rice with a little bit of fat meal with some vegetables. I have it prepped right here. It is supposed to be 150 grams of rice, exactly the same as the last time, but I'm actually feeling it in my stomach a little bit now, and just the sheer volume, I can feel I haven't digested my last meal fully just yet, and that's when you're going to start getting some digestion issues if you just keep loading it in and in and in without actually listening if you're digesting it properly. So I backed the rice down to 100 grams this time, so that should go in nice and easy. And I'm going to just load up a little bit with almond butter, so 20 grams of almond butter for 10 grams of fat, with some rice cakes and jam, just to again boost that extra 40 grams from the 50 grams of rice that I took out of this last meal. So that's my meal 5. I just had to reduce the volume a little bit just so my stomach can actually catch up and digest everything properly and effectively and efficiently. So rice cakes and jam this meal, just as a little boost. Otherwise, I will catch you guys for my last meal of the day, which is going to be a cream of rice meal. And I don't actually have cream of rice, so what I'm going to do is blend my rice. Which takes us to my last meal of the day. Like I said, it's supposed to be cream of rice, but I don't have it. No cream of rice, no problem, as long as you have a blender. So this blender looks like it's out of the 70s. It's all I have on me in Toronto. So I'm gonna get this blended up. We'll see how it works. It's already pre-cooked. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done this before, so it could be terrible, but I'm fairly confident this is gonna work. Okay, let's give this a go. And there we go. I think that is all we need. And we have, with some leakage, cream of rice. Guys, that works so much better than I thought. I actually have a real, pretty much exactly the same cream of rice dish, but I'm actually gonna bang this in the microwave because I had too much water. Trying to get the rest of the rice out of the blender was a nightmare, so I switched it with water to get it out. So back in the microwave to actually cook it, get all that water absorbed into the rice, and it'll be nice and thick. And then I'll add the protein afterwards with my jam, honey, almond butter. This would be my last meal of the day, so I am going to make it really bloody tasty. I actually struggled staying awake for this. It's just gone to 11 o'clock at night. I needed to space this out with enough time for adequate digestion, but this is my last meal of the day, my 6th meal of the day. I opted for almond butter, if you can see that, almond butter with some chocolate protein, just for the cream of rice, and just my jam and rice cake to polish off the carbs. I will put everything on the screen, including the total daily macros for today's carb load. And there's one last thing I need to show you, which is my new weight from this morning till tomorrow morning, and my side-by-side comparisons on how much bigger and fuller my muscles are going to look with 800 grams of carb now in me from today. So I'll show you that in the morning as soon as I wake up. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the morning. Today's a new day, so it's Saturday today, tomorrow being Sunday, the show day, so I am one day out. I have the comparisons for you to see, just to check the fullness difference and how much more muscle mass it looks like I'm holding, because I've done this depletion into the carb load. So you guys have a look at that, and you can let me know in the comments if you can see the difference, if you can't see the difference. But today's video is just about day 1 of the carb load. I'm going to merge the second day, being today, of the carb loading, which is actually going to be a bit more of a maintenance day. But I am happy with this look. Now I just need to maintain the fullness, and I'm going to slowly dry out today. So I'm just going to reduce the carbs a little bit. But like I said, that's going to be spoken about in the next video. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on that, because that's going to be my show day video as well. So I'll just have a recap of what I eat today, what I'm going to do on show day, everything I'm going to do to get on stage with the final package, and of course, my results. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I'd always appreciate it if you smash that like button and leave me a comment. I will catch you in the next video after the show has concluded.